All right.
You're gonna be on video, Dad, so...
The Weld County Regional Communications Center. This is an emergency. Hang up and dial 911. If you know your option, you may press it at any time. If you're calling for the sheriff's office or the jail, press 2. If you're calling for the records section of the Grenada Police or local.
You have reached the Weld County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you're calling regarding a jail inmate, press 3 now. If you know the extension number of the person you are trying to reach, you may enter it at any time. If you need to report a non-emergency crime, press 1 to reach the Weld.
Weld County Communications, this is Blake.
Hey, Blake, if I see somebody committing fraud, what do you suggest I do? Is it something that police can get involved with?
Where is this occurring at, sir?
It's occurring on a daily basis. The details of the Social Security card and birth certificate are not disclosed to the people, and I believe that we're giving up our rights when we sign these documents. I believe that we're giving up our property when we sign these documents, and I believe that since we were not told these details, I believe that that there is being a fraud committed against us. Yeah, I do. I'm just wondering why you're interrupting me.
I apologize, sir. I'm just wondering what the address is that this is occurring at.
In your town, Weld County.
In which town, sir?
Weld County, Greeley. Greeley, Garden City, even the entire state and the whole country.
Okay, what's the address you're calling me from, sir?
Just Greeley. I'm just trying to report fraud. I'm wondering if you can do anything about fraud.
Okay, I can transfer you to Christy Hardwick if you'd like.
I don't know, who is that?
She deals with fraud in Greeley.
Okay, great, yeah. Transfer me over there.
Okay, I can do that.
Am I going to get an answering machine or a real person?
She may be in the office, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, all right.
But if you have to, you can leave a message with your name and your number and she'll call you
Okay.
back.
All right, what is your name, Clifford?
My name is Blake.
Oh, Blake, I'm sorry.
Oh, her name is Christy.
Okay.
Christy Hardwick.
Blake, yeah, what I'm finding is that this country is operating in fraud because we were not given full disclosure of the birth certificate. Yeah, Dwayne Brothwell. I think you may have me on a list. You know, somebody who, Brothwell, Brothwell. What is your name, Blake?
My name is Blake.
What? Blake what?
No, I don't need to disclose my
Oh, you don't? So all men are not created equal according to the Constitution?
Okay, I'm gonna transfer you to
Oh, you're gonna resist my questioning, so does that mean you're the king and you're the boss? I thought we were the boss.
Okay, sir, I can transfer you to Christy.
Yeah.
Or I can put in a call.
Yeah, Blake, just to make you aware that your thinking and your inability to understand the truth about this country is an attitude of bankruptcy. If you think that you work for me...
I'm gonna have to let you go, okay?
All right, thank you, Blake.
All right, thank you, bye.
Bye. How you doing? We're on video, Dad. I'm going to post this on YouTube.
Now, a samurai was a soldier, the finest warrior that ever existed in Japan.
See, this country is operating in bankruptcy where they think the government is there to rule over us, when in actuality, government was established by the people and we are supposed to be ruling the government, not them ruling over us. So this is an attitude of bankruptcy when they think that they are unaccountable to us. They can ask us questions and know all of our personal information, but we can't know theirs. Mm-hmm. That's a bankrupted attitude. This entire country is bankrupt.
Why, look at my finger.
Wow.
He did nothing to it.
Yeah.
Relatively minor losses to the lacquer. All in all, just a general plainness of the armor are what attracts me. Now, we start great interest. To an aspiring collector, though, looking to buy his first good, authentic suit of armor, and this can sell.
Christy, she's the one that.
You have reached the Weld County Regional Communications Center. If this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911. If you know your option, you may press it at any time. If you're calling for the sheriff's office or the jail, press 2. If you're calling for the records center.
You have reached the Weld County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you're calling regarding a jail inmate, press 3 now. If you know the extension number of the person you are trying to reach, you may enter it at any time. If you need to report a non-emergency
Christy
crime,
Hardwick.
press 1 to reach the Weld County Regional Communications. To reach law enforcement records, press 4. For alternative programs, including work release and pretrial, press 5. For community corrections, press 6. For civil process, press 7.
It was-
Thank you for calling work release. We are currently unable to take your call right now. So if you could please leave your name, number, and... To reach the operator, push 0, then...
Oops. 0 then something.
To reach the operator, push 0, then pound. You dialed 0, 0. You are not authorized to call this number.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you transfer me over to dispatch?
Yeah, hold on.
Press the wrong one.
Hello?
Yes. I was talking to Blake a minute ago. He was supposed to transfer me over to Christy. I believe it might be Hardwick.
Okay, so you need to talk to Christy Hardwick?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second, I'll transfer you now, okay?
Thank you. Let's see if this government really cares about fraud, or if they just love collecting a paycheck and don't care about fraud.
You can find a wartime metalhead. That stuff is like mining gold. What do you value this at? Well, that's 47.5 for it. We are talking serious cash here. 47K.
Hi, this is Christy. Can I help you?
Hi, Christy. I would like to like for somebody to investigate a crime of fraud. Are
Well,
you?
what's going on?
Well, I believe that this country is operating in fraud because they did not tell us that when we signed the birth certificate and social security card that we're giving up our rights and property.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Dwayne
I'm sorry, Dwayne?
Dwayne Brothwell.
Okay, do you live here in Greeley, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I'm a little confused because that's not the kind of fraud I investigate, so...
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
where I have the influence over
okay. Well, maybe I'm misunderstanding something. I believe that fraud is the intentional use of deceit, a trick of some dishonest means to deprive another of his rights, of his money, property, or legal right.
Okay.
So I believe that we're giving up our property and we're giving up our rights when we signed to the birth certificate and social security card, and we were not told that we were giving up those rights when we signed those documents. I believe that they're using social insurance as a deception so that when we sign these, we're actually giving up our rights and property. And that was admitted by George Washington and also Edward Mandell House, a banker representative, at the passage of the Federal Reserve Act in 1913.
Okay,
So I believe,
I'm not up on all of that history, so I'll take your word for it.
yeah.
The issue I'm having, though, is unless any of that happened in the city limits of Greeley,
Yeah, it's happened in the city limits of Greeley. It's happened within the limits of Weld County, the state of Colorado, and also the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation, owned by international bankers, which also charter states, and then states charter cities, and so on and so forth. It's all a corporation owned by international bankers. So I'm trying to, ma'am, I'm really trying to understand your system. I want to obey the law, but I believe that you guys are disobeying the law. I believe that you have made, huh?
in what way am I disobeying the law?
Well, the Constitution is the law, and first of all, you're not using gold and silver as money, so you're breaking the law there.
Okay, I don't use gold and silver.
Yeah, I know.
as money.
Well,
It's not my,
Yeah, well, the Constitution says,
set that up.
yeah, well, the Constitution says no state shall coin money on anything but gold and silver for the payment of debts. So you guys aren't obeying that law, so.
But that's not something local police are responsible for anymore.
Okay.
They are
All right.
the president.
Okay, well, that's fine, but that's, you wanted me to explain to you how you guys are breaking the law. And,
You can have your opinion, but that's not the reality.
okay, well, what is reality then? Will you explain that to me?
Reality is like this fraud that happens in Greeley, in
Okay.
Colorado.
Yeah, this is
Not
happening in
fraud-
Greeley, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, this is happening in Greeley.
well, who else have you talked to about this? I'm wondering. 'Cause I
Well,
thought you probably talked to somebody else.
Yeah, Christy, I try to talk to other people, but they just seem to not want to answer any questions.
Well, like who?
I've talked to the Greeley police. I have videos of me talking to the Greeley police. I have talked on several occasions with officers. Now, I haven't got down to the heart of it. I believe I'm refining my argument to the point that it just comes down to simple fraud. I have tried to talk with Mark Udall. I've tried talking with Corey Gardner. I've tried very hard, getting the information out, talking with people, getting them to answer questions, but nobody, it's what I'm gathering, the evidence that I'm gathering is that people would rather collect a paycheck and follow orders than they would to hear about the truth of the fraud. Edward Mandel House admitted, he said, every American will be a contributor to this fraud we will call social insurance, because it's through the birth certificate and social security card, which when we sign these, we enter into the jurisdiction of the bankers, which offer us privileges, and we've contracted our rights away. And he said that we...
And like I said, if I had jurisdiction over any of that, I'd be very inclined
Yeah.
to follow up on it, but
Okay.
that's not in our charter.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. I mean, you've given me more time than most people have. So, what do you suggest I do then, Christy?
The state attorney generals have filed suit against the president for various things, including the Affordable Care Act. They might
Right.
be inclined to listen
Right.
to you or take up some of those issues with you. That
Yeah.
would be my first thought.
Okay, well, here's what I'm seeing, ma'am, is that if I am confronted with an officer and if these contracts, which I believe, you never taught me, your government never taught me, so I can only assume that the birth certificate and social security card are a contract by which I give up my rights. And so whenever I come in contact with an officer, he thinks that he has jurisdiction over me. And I believe that he does not. And I believe that it's his ignorance, and it's the ignorance of the officers, the police department, the city of Greeley that thinks they have power over me. And I'm actually in fear for my safety because of this. So what do you suggest on that level?
Well, if you're contacted by an officer and they give you a lawful order, you should comply with that lawful order. If you're breaking the laws of the state of Colorado or the city of Greeley, they will take action.
Well, they're not...
Their instructions.
Okay, well, I agree with you that they're not called laws, I think. I think they're called statutes, codes, and regulations. I believe that's what they're called.
By any other name, sure.
Okay, but I believe that they do take on an effective law when we're in contract.
Right, so my
Okay.
suggestion to you is to not be uncompliant. If you're not
Okay.
doing anything wrong, then there's
Well, I'm not a
nothing
slave,
wrong.
ma'am. I can't comply because I'm not a slave.
Uh,
I mean, I can love my neighbor, but statutes, codes, and regulations are not law. They're simply codes.
Attorney generals of Colorado and other states have sued the federal government, and they might be inclined to take up some of these issues with you. I just can't. That's not something I'm
Well,
charged
well,
with.
okay.
and I don't have the authority to.
Okay, ma'am, I understand that. But what do I do? Where do I go if an officer is unlawfully wielding power over me? Because that's happening all over the country.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I believe that the birth certificate is that a national thing. You know, I mean, Edward Mandell House said every American will be required to register their biological property. I'm thinking that's a federal jurisdiction.
I'm not familiar with it, so I can't really comment on that.
So I'm thinking that if you guys are not operating that jurisdiction, then why are we using Social Security card when that's a federal jurisdiction, isn't it?
Can't comment on that either. I'm not an expert on that.
Okay.
Obviously, you have more information than I do. But
Yeah.
I would suggest if you're contacted by a law enforcement agent of any kind, of any place, in any place, is to be polite, respectful, and
Yeah.
compliant, and things will go better for you.
Well, I know. Well, the problem is, ma'am, is that there's no more slavery. I think the 13th Amendment
agree.
says no more slavery and
And that's
involuntary
not-
servitude.
yeah, and that's
And I
not
believe
the
that they're
focus.
ignorantly forcing their power because I'm not in contract, and I believe that they need to be educated about this. And I believe that what's happening is these officers are all being told by someone higher up than them to just follow orders, and because they're collecting a paycheck, and that if they want their job, they're going to have to follow orders and continue to run over my rights.
Yeah, and I can't comment on that, but I've given you the best advice I can, so that's
Okay.
about all I have time for.
Well, Christy, I'm not done, if you don't mind. Because, I mean,
I have other people waiting that I need to help.
well, I need help too, because my rights and my safety are at jeopardy. I mean, you are here for my safety, aren't you?
Are you in an unsafe situation
Yes.
right now?
Oh, yes.
Where?
Everybody who's exercising their rights. Everybody.
Okay.
You never taught us our rights, did you?
Okay.
I don't believe your government has taught us our rights, have
I'm
you?
going to hang up now. I've given you all the advice I can. And I have other people I need to help.
Yeah, Christy, I don't like that. Because I'm just as important as everybody else, and I deserve the time.
But I've given you all the help, and I have given you some time, but I need to move on.
Okay, well, I need to ask more questions. So is there any way that I can contact you so I could ask more questions?
If you call back in and you need assistance, dispatch can transfer you to the appropriate person.
Ma'am, I don't need assistance. I need an understanding that you guys don't have power over me. That's what I need. You guys are committing fraud. You guys are wielding power over me fraudulently.
Giving you the best advice I can at this point.
All
The
right.
Attorney General of the state of Colorado has sued the federal government. He might be inclined to listen to your
Who is this? This is the what?
state attorney general.
Okay, hold on a second.
Has sued the federal government before, so they might be inclined to talk to you.
General, and where is this at? Is this,
Colorado State Attorney General is out of Denver.
okay, Colorado State Attorney?
Yeah, Colorado State Attorney General.
Okay. All right. Well, Christy, I appreciate what little time, and I know you were inadequate for what I was hoping for, but I do appreciate the time you spent with me. Thank you.